Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3933. Today's date is March 10, 10th of March 2026. It's been almost like a night at 10:07 p.m. Today is very much kind of like a something. I don't know. I will not gonna talk about that. Okay, let's just jump into the question. Let's go. Right. Okay, the question is, which new habit would likely create the biggest positive ripple effect in my life? Okay, yeah. What's first of all, what exactly is this question, and why am I asking this question to myself? Couple of days ago, I read a book, Atomic Habit, by James Clear. A really amazing book. Highly recommend to you to read that book. I read this book and I wanted to implement the value that book taught me. So I went to ChatGPT, kind of like a say that he suggest me at least like a 20 question, so that I would ask to myself and give the honest answer to myself, which will kind of like a somewhat something letting me implement the value from the book taught me. So ChatGPT kind of like a suggests me almost like a 20 question. This is one of those questions. Now regarding about this question, the question says that which new habit would likely to create biggest positive ripple effect in my life? Now what's the first of all, let's just understand what's the ripple effect. Okay. So have you seen a water drop is kind of like a something just fall in the water. It kind of like a creates a ripple, a kind of like a wave and things like that. How this actually happened? Well, it actually happened because of that when the water drop at the surface of water, it kind of like a create unstable level of water, and it kind of like a creates the ripple effect. Okay, yeah, by kind of like a something like ripple effect in everywhere. Okay, yeah, like a one ripple effect kind of like a create help to create another ripple effect. I don't know how I'm supposed to explain this thing. Okay, yeah, like you probably seen it. Okay, yeah, it's not really that you might not have seen it. Okay, yeah. A ripple effect means like that when you try something good, okay, or when you try something, because of you try and you did that thing, it kind of like a something let you do something even more, like a basically is this thing na ki uh, uh, a railway engine fired, rest of the kind of like a bogie will kind of like a something attach with it and they also go move forward. Okay, yeah. And when engine achieve that momentum, then engine doesn't really require even more power to pull almost like a 10-20 bogies behind them. No, that bogie will kind of like already in the momentum, and they just kind of like somebody creates the speed and things. You just have to control. Engine is kind of like controlling the speed and things and that and that. It's a kind of like a thing that na ki you start again, like you start, and because of you start, rest of the kind of like a things are automatically started and things like that. Like this is a kind of like a simple explanation that I'm trying to explain. Okay, yeah. Like railway engine might be kind of like a very much easily that you could understand. Engine kind of like a push too much energy at the beginning when engine pull almost like a 50 bogie at the same time. But when that engine and entire train is actually on the momentum, then engine doesn't really require to push that much amount of energy. No. Then rest of the bogie are kind of like assembly giving kind of like a momentum to kind of like a get the speed and things and that. Okay, yeah. So is this any kind of like a something that is called ripple effect? Okay, yeah. Now ripple effect is also happened in our life too. Okay, yeah. Specifically in our habit, I wanted to talk about the ripple effect in my life. Okay, yeah. Positive ripple effect. Okay, yeah, which would be kind of like a really good. Basically is this thing na ki I started running. Okay, yeah, almost like 4 years ago I started running. At the beginning I cannot able to be run that much, but then I kind of like a constantly running, pushing myself 10 minute, 15 minute, 20 minute, 25, 30 minute. Now this span I achieve within a 6 months. Like it's not really happened like a basically today I run 5 minutes and tomorrow I run 30 minutes. No, like a reaching 30-minute non-stop run took me almost like a 6 months to achieve that momentum. Okay, yeah. And after I achieved that momentum, since then I could easily run 30-minute non-stop every single day. Okay, yeah. So because of I built this habit, it kind of like assembly, it add so much amount of value inside of me. First, I am feel very fresh. I feel not get that much tired. At the beginning my legs are kind of like a very much hurting while running and things like that. Right now I am not hurt, my legs are not hurting anything at all. My health is really good. From last 5 years I never really been sick. I am not that much lazy too. During the afternoon I usually went to sleep, take a nap, but I'm kind of like a somebody focusing on my work. Okay, yeah. Another thing is that during the night I get sleep very easily. Sometimes I didn't really get sleep. Okay, that's kind of like a somebody sometimes have little bit of stress and things like that. But most of the night, soon as I kind of like a drop myself, means soon as I kind of like a lay down, I just within a 10 minute I went to sleep. There are so many kind of like some advantages that I'm feeling because of I'm running for last 4 years non-stop every single day. Also my appearance is also kind of like a look good. Okay, yeah. I don't really have any kind of like a six packs and things and that, but I seen the people who didn't really run, like basically is this thing after you cross 30, people are kind of like somebody just didn't really took care of their personal habit and things and that. Most of my friends are kind of like have a lot of belly fat. I do have, it's not really that I don't really have, but it has in control, it has in as compared to less. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I still run, but I still have belly fat because I don't really have diet control. Okay, yeah. I whatever the food that my mother cooks, I just ate it. That's it. Okay, if I try to do that thing, yeah. But also is this thing, I just do run. That means my entire exercise is just a cardio. Upper body exercise is almost nothing really at all. Okay, so that is also another thing responsible for this little bit of belly fat. But good thing is that I'm not really focusing on that visual appearance, but whatever the appearance that I have is good enough. Okay, so there are kind of like so many kind of like some advantage that I'm getting because of running. Okay, now there is also another kind of like a habit that I wanted to tell you. Because I run 30 minutes non-stop, it kind of like somebody adds something value that key what if I could start reading book? Okay, yeah. This year I started reading book. Okay, and right now it's just almost like a 2 months. Okay, yeah. But within a 2 month, I complete two books: Psychology of Money and Atomic Habit. Okay. The third book that I'm reading, How to Win Your Friend and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I'm reading that book. Okay. It is also happen is because of running. No, basically running and reading a book is a kind of like a two different thing. How it kind of like simply helped me. Well, basically is this thing na ki if I could run 30 minutes non-stop, then I could be able to kind of like read the book 30 minutes. So I started reading 30-minute book. Not too much, okay, not too less, just 30 minutes. Set the alarm for 30 minutes and just start reading. At the beginning, it was very difficult to read that many book or read a kind of like that many kind of like books. Why is that? Because I've never really been a reader and I can't even kind of like visualize the scenario by text. Okay, yeah. Like a Psychology of Money, this kind of like a book I just read. I consume little bit of information, but kind of like a feel little bit of dull to me. It's kind of like a torture thing for me to read that book. Why? Because there is no problem at book, but it's because of that I cannot able to be consume the information. But soon as I kind of like continue reading, right now I'm kind of like getting very good amount of value. I asked almost like a 20 question regarding about that and gave very proper answer regarding about monies and things and that and that. So yeah, okay. Still is this thing. It's just 2 months. I'm reading a book. So still there are kind of like a much more advantage will gonna happen in the future. I'm kind of like simply focusing on reading as much as book, but reading a book is kind of like a habit is actually came from running. Okay, yeah, because I started running and it kind of like helped me to kind of like read the book. Okay, yeah. There is also another thing too. Okay, yeah. I also have another habit. I spend almost like a half an hour on brain training application. Elevate, Lumosity, Brilliant, and Duolingo. These are the 4 applications that I use every single day to train myself, train my brain. Okay, yeah. Why am I doing it that? Well, I realize that I am pretty dumb. Yeah, I'm not really that smart person. Okay, because I seen smart person and compared to them I realize that my smartness is kind of like a very less of them. And it's not really that your smartness is kind of like a stagnant and things like that. Like I don't know how to I supposed to explain. I analyze in myself that I cannot able to be kind of like a hold that much information in my head for longer period of time. I am very difficult to kind of like something remember the people name. Okay, I don't know, but like basically I realize that the people who really required to do anything, they took it like a maybe like a basically 1 or 2 days. Same thing it will gonna took me almost like a 4 to 5 days, almost like a twice. Okay, yeah. So I realize I am not smart enough and I want to become smart. I want to become like not smart but kind of like some this thing that I should suppose we utilize my brain as much as I could so that I would take a proper decision, proper, yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like playing those games. Okay, yeah. First of all, Brilliant is the application. Also, I highly recommend to you to download this application. and train yourself every single day. Do not buy subscription, doesn't really required. Just free pack, whatever it kind of like a provided, had enough. Just make sure that you should supposed to be provide your attention, or you should supposed to be consistent. Every single day you have to open this application, solve some sort of equation. Brilliant application is a kind of like a have multiple courses, okay, from every possible thing. Okay, so you just have to do it. It's really good. Okay, yeah. Then Lumosity. Lumosity is a legit brain training application. It has a multiple kind of like a games which kind of like a meant to be brain training. Okay, and I do that thing which is really good. Okay. Duolingo. Well, I started Duolingo as a language learning, but soon I realized that like language is a kind of like assembly. I wanted to learn language, but still right now I'm actually a bit more focused on chess. Chess is a kind of like assembly add-on available in Duolingo, which is really good. I am learning chess. I am a kind of like a particular person never really play a chess, but right now I could able to be win chess too, and it's kind of like one of the really amazing game that I discovered, and I really love to play that game. Okay, actually happened is because of Duolingo. Okay. Then Elevate is also kind of like a brain training application regarding about kind of like a same as a Lumosity. Lumosity is a kind of like a bit more focus on visual test. Elevate is a kind of like a much more word. Okay, yeah, like a basically is this thing na ki Lumosity is a kind of like a something train your brain by visual task or visual things. There is very less kind of like some words are over there in Lumosity, but Elevate is a kind completely different. Elevate is a kind of like a some word based text. Word based means like that ki you have to consume information by words, okay, and take a test and things and that, which is also really good too. These are kind of like a 4 application that I spend every single day, and consistent. Okay, yeah. And because of this thing, am I smart enough? I am not really sure. Okay, yeah, but it will definitely kind of like help me a lot regarding about mathematics, regarding about things. Okay. In Duolingo, I am kind of like doing this thing for almost like 223 days. Okay, yeah, which has a higher stake in Duolingo. Rest of the application, like basically what exactly happened now, all those application I kind of like buy the subscription in last year. Okay, October 2025. Okay, yeah, and I play those application for almost like a very intensively for almost like a 1 hour straight, 1-2 hour. I spend almost like a 2 hour on that application. I think that time, which is not really good. Okay, why? Because of that, spending that much amount of time on that application, it will definitely gonna add value, but soon rest of the work is kind of like a disturb. So that's why I decided. Then I kind of like dropped that thing for almost like 2 months, and then I realized that I shouldn't supposed to focus on intensity. I should be focus on consistent. So instead of kind of like simply doing those brain training games for almost like a 2 hour, no, I decided that I should supposed to spend almost like a 5 to 10 minutes on each application. That's it. But I just have to consistent and every single day. So almost like a month I'm trying this thing, and I'm not really sure does it kind of like add value or not, but still it will gonna add. I'm making sure that those application I will gonna play every single day. Okay. Then another habit is that artifact episode. I don't know how to supposed to explain this thing. I am doing this artifact for last 11 year. Yeah, I started this thing at the kind of like a February 11th of February 2015, and I kind of like a talk about what is actually happened throughout my day and things and that. Because, and let me tell you one thing, the habit that I told you, I could able to be run 30 minutes, I could able to be read book for 30 minutes, I could able to be kind of like a something like a do my content creation. Okay, yeah, like I also do the content creation, which is I'm doing for 5 years every single day. So basically is this thing, all those kind of like a good habit are actually started by the by the artifact. And this is kind of like a something is this thing that key I am really proud that I'm kind of like doing this thing. It helped me a lot. It changed who am I. I am the kind of like only particular person would be look or feel or maybe like, because of artifact it changed my life, it changed my perspective of looking at the world, it changed my entire personality. And I don't know, I am kind of like somebody very feel really good that I record artifact. Okay, what is actually artifact? Artifact is a kind of like a things that key people wrote the journal every single day. I am kind of like a focus on, instead of writing a journal, what if we could record the journal? Okay, yeah, like audio format. So since then I'm kind of like simply recording my artifact. I mention them as a my artifact episode. And because of this thing, it's birth of all my good habit. Okay. So basically it's this thing that these are kind of like habits are kind of like a somebody kind of like a creating ripple effect in my life to kind of like a somebody achieve things, right? But still I think that there are so many good things that I wanted to achieve, and that good thing will gonna also happen by kind of like a something try to do even more good habit. What is that? Like I realized that I am not really good at communication. I could do talk very well on this artifact or things and that, but when the people or talking to the in front of the people, I cannot, I fumble a lot. Communication is a kind of like a thing that I should supposed to be work on. At the moment I don't really have anyone people around me, but whenever the people have, I should supposed to be try that thing, because in the future I might hold such a personality where my words will gonna matter. So it is really essential to me to utilize my word very wisely. So for that thing, communication is really much essential. I have to be improve that thing. I'm trying to improve. Like a artifact is kind of like a helping me to kind of like a improve the stuff that I would gonna say and things and that. But still, talking in artifact and talking to the real person, very different. So I need to learn that thing. Networking is also another habit that I am lack of it. I am not the person who kind of like assembly go and talk to the stranger. Definitely not. If I have a reason to talk, I would definitely gonna talk. But obviously I would not gonna talk to a stranger without any reason. And I think that is a very not good thing, because if you wanted to grow your life, network is really much essential, and I need to build that network. So I'm working on it. That is the kind of like a thing is that I should supposed to work on it. Okay. I think these are kind of like some habits that right now I wanted to develop. Okay, yeah. And some of the good habits that I have, which kind of like creates the ripple effect in my life regarding about new ideas, new habits, and things and that and that. I realize that ki ripple effect is actually happen when you are kind of like a try to do something good thing. But ripple effect is also happen when you try to do bad thing. Example, I seen lot of people in my life, they are legitly bad. Okay, yeah. Why? I'm not really sure why, but probably is this thing alcohol. Like consuming alcohol occasionally, that is good. I also consume alcohol too. But doing it every single day, it is not only harm your body, it harm your personality, your thought process, your everything. Same thing with the smoking. Smoking is also addiction too. Like basically is this thing good habit and bad habit. We have to understand that what is actually good habit and bad habit. Like it's very easy to say that smoking is a bad habit, alcohol is a bad habit. But if you ask this question to the person who already addicted with the alcohol or addicted with the smoking, from them point of perspective, they might think that is not a bad habit. It's just a mind relaxing, right? So basically, is this thing na ki sometimes it is really essential that ki whatever the habit that you have, is it really right habit or wrong? So these are all my kind of like assembly habits, okay, yeah, which will kind of like assembly will ripple effect in my life to kind of like make my personality or make me as a better person in the future. All right, so this is it. You should supposed to be end here, and thank you.